What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, I don't know if y'all have realized this, but Charles Barkley, King Charles as he calls himself, has been promoting his new show by that title, King Charles. He's making the rounds, y'all, and we can see where he's going with this in this tumultuous election year. Charles has knighted himself the king. I don't think anybody who has looked at his career would say he's a king of anything, having never earned a chip, having no rings to speak of. But here we have Charles in this election year who wants some smoke. Okay, Charles, King Charles, as he calls himself, it looks like the only thing he is the king of is the king of the raccoons. Because Charles has come out shooting at folks. No, not everybody. Black folks. And those of us who have followed his career, it seems like things are in line. Charles would never have smoke for them folks. Those folks who have him on such a short leash that he watches what he says on television. He watches what he says when he's around certain people. But he thinks it's okay to shoot at black folks in particular. When as the king of the raccoons, I bet you a white person could walk up to Charles and slap his mama in the face. He wouldn't do nothing. But here we have this article from the Washington Examiner that says Charles Barkley threatens to punch any black person wearing Trump's mugshot merch. Well, first of all, Charles, that's illegal. Are you threatening to commit crimes against black Americans? It's very interesting. Charles, your true colors are showing, and it looks to me like your true colors are not red, white, and blue, and they're definitely not black. So what is Charles representing? Y'all, let's check out this story and see what's going on here, because what could have provoked this? I know what provoked it. It's an election year, and he's standing up for his holders of his leash, his slave masters. He's doing the bidding of those who control his check. Here we go, y'all. Look at this.
And I'm thrilled to be here tonight with crooked Joe Biden's absolutely worst nightmare. Hundreds of proud, black, conservative American patriots.
Donald Trump received a warm welcome speaking at the Black Conservative Federation Gala in Columbia, South Carolina. He had one message for black Americans.
Our message to the black community in this election will be a very simple one. If you want strong borders, safe neighborhoods, rising wages, good jobs, great education, and the return of the American dream, then congratulations, you are a Republican. It's pretty simple.
Representative Byron Donalds got some chuckles when he described Trump's particular type of leadership.
And listen, real leadership isn't always nice, but it's funny. Real leadership sometimes isn't cuddly, but it gets the job done. And when you have real leadership, our families, they can thrive.
And he didn't pull his punches to Joe Biden.
You and your family cannot afford 4 more years of Bidenomics. He thinks it's a good term. It's a really bad term. Anything having to do with his name is bad. That's why this November, black Americans are going to tell, you all watch The Apprentice, right? They're going to tell crooked Joe Biden, you're fired. You're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Trump spent a majority of the speech bragging about the black votes he has garnered.
In 2020, we increased our share of black vote by 50%, 50. And we earned more votes from African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans than any Republican in generations. We are welcoming more black voters back home to the Republican Party.
Byron Donalds had his own message for black voters here in South Carolina.
What needs to happen now is that, black voters overall, we got to start thinking much more openly about our politics. And so I think black people voting more Republican is a good thing for the country. I think it's a great thing for the black community.
Donald Trump is projected to win 14 to 30% of the black vote, which would be more than any other Republican presidential candidate in U.S. history. Here from Columbia, South Carolina, I'm Abinti Korshi with the Washington Examiner.
Y'all, I predict Donald Trump will get about 25%. People say if Donald Trump gets 20%, it's a wrap for Democrats. They can't win because Democrats are used to having black folks on that plantation. And they see the writing on the wall. They see that black folks are fleeing the Democrat plantation, starting to look towards Republicans and say, hey, what's happening over there? Looks like things are going better for my family over there. Looks like things are going better for my faith over there. And black folks are starting to leave the Democrat plantation. It's a good thing if you're on the right side of politics. It's a bad thing for the Democrats, and that's why you see this influx of illegal immigration. I saw somebody did a recent poll and they were interviewing illegal immigrants as they cross the border. Who are you for, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? 100% were for Joe Biden because they believe that Joe Biden is allowing them in this country and giving them benefits that true American citizens don't get. Those are facts. They're getting credit cards that are reloadable in blue sanctuary cities. You get nothing. This is what's happening in your country. Black folks are fed up and they're showing it. They're leaving the plantation and aligning with a party that supports their faith, that supports their values, because economic power in the black community is economic power for America. Black prosperity is American prosperity. And black folks ain't for that foolishness. So when you see people like Charles Barkley come out and he's against the community, you have to question what his motivation is and why he ain't got no smoke for them folks. But he talking about he gonna punch black folks in the face? Man, listen, we 2A advocates on this channel. Charles, we wish you would. Let's see what this story says from the Washington Examiner. Former NBA star and CNN host Charles Barkley said he would punch any black person he sees wearing former President Donald Trump's mugshot merchandise, citing recent comments that Trump made at an event aimed at black Republicans. The comments Barkley took issue with were made by Trump at the Black Conservative Federation Honors Gala in South Carolina last month. During his speech, Trump claimed that he had been told his numerous indictments are why he is gaining support among black voters because they see him being discriminated against. Y'all, America loves an underdog. That includes black folks. I know a lot of people like to focus on our differences, but I tend to focus on the things that we share in common as Americans. And black folks feel the same way white folks do on this issue. They love an underdog. They love to see a man who is facing all obstacles and still fighting. That's what Donald Trump is. And you can see it in this clip. Is Charles Barkley trying to fight the folks who came out? Charles Barkley says he wants to punch people in the face who wear Trump's mugshot merchandise. But is he talking about these folks who came out and lined the streets when Trump went to Fulton County to take that mugshot? Y'all look at these folks. They out here supporting Donald Trump, chanting his name, talking about free Trump. Is this who you want to punch, Charles?
Which one are you in, though? Donald Trump. I'm talking about they got everybody.
The story continues. Quote, first of all, if I see a black person walking around with Trump's mugshot, I'm going to punch him in the face, Barkley said on his CNN show, King Charles, on Saturday, drawing laughter from the audience. Who's laughing at Charles? This is not funny. This man is saying he's going to commit crimes against black citizens of America that he don't even know. If he see him on the street, he just gonna punch him in the face. Who condones this? Who supports this lawlessness from the king of the raccoons? I certainly don't. And the 2A community would love for Charles to walk up and punch them in the face because he would fafo, as they say. The story continues. Barkley's co-host, Gayle King, quickly interjected that he was not being serious, to which Barkley claimed that he sincerely meant what he said. She tried to cover for him, and he went forward with it. Want the smoke from black folks, but not from them folks. Okay, Charles. When asked by King what he would do for getting arrested for punching someone, Barkley responded, he would bail myself out and go celebrate. Y'all, this is the king of the raccoons who himself doesn't even hang out in black spaces. So we know that it's all cap what he's saying on this show because Charles is highly unlikely to run into a black person in the white restaurants that he hangs out in the white bars that he frequents, in the white cigar lounges, on the white golf courses that he frequents, y'all. This is foolishness. This is clownery. And ain't nobody in the black community took Charles Barkley serious in about 20 years. So much for what Charles Barkley says, because he's a 61-year-old man now, and we know Charles Barkley used to want the smoke in his 20s. But any man who feels the same way in his 60s that he felt in his 20s is a fool. Let's just be honest. Barkley added that had he been attending Trump's speech, he would have walked out, since the former president basically was comparing his multitude of indictments to everything black people in the United States have endured throughout history. That's not true. You have placed his words in an incorrect context on purpose. And we understand that a lot of the things that Charles Barkley says are hype. We know that his paycheck depends on hyperbole. But this crosses the line. He's talking about physically assaulting black folks for who they support in the 2024 election. This is raccoonery at its finest. And Charles Barkley is obviously the king of it. He added that Trump made an unfair comparison in his statement, since he's a billionaire and he is being prosecuted for stuff he did wrong. Well, those of us who follow this thing, unlike Charles Barkley, who is beholden to his Democrat overlords, understand that Donald Trump is being persecuted and prosecuted by Democrat prosecutors all over the country. And it's ironic that Charles Barkley want to have smoke for the black community and want to attack black folks, but has no smoke for these black district attorneys who have been deployed by the Democrat plantation to attack this former president of the United States. Charles knows upon which side his bread is buttered. And if you look at what he's saying and who he's attacking, you'll know too. Charles Barkley is a slave. And he can only advocate for one side. He cannot be fair in his assessments. He's beholden to a certain party that forces him, whether he likes it or not, and I think he loves it. But that party forces him to attack the other side. He's an attack dog. And they have put him out in the pasture to attack black folks on the other side, not the entirety of the other side, black folks specifically. Charles say he gonna punch you in the face. Okay. Charles, I know thousands of brothers out here in this community that you are not a part of that would love for you to try to punch them in the face because you would get what's coming to you, sir, ma'am, sir, ma'am. Y'all like the video, whether you agree with me or not. Subscribe to the channel and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.